Hey guys, Geeky Rocket here, and this is a long overdue update on my JagdTiger build. This is actually turning into a very frustrating build, and I've almost chucked this out into the graveyard bin or the boneyard bin. When I last updated you guys, it was basically all ready to be painted, and as you can see, it has the Dunkelgleb or the dark yellow base coat on it. So I'll run you guys through what is frustrating me to no end. Basically, what I did is I primed primed the vehicle in Tamiya's flat black, and then the idea was to do a hairspray technique on this build, whereby I would then spray AK's red primer, which is an outstanding color. Love the color. However, for some reason I can't get the ultra acrylics or the true acrylic paints to lay down smooth and nicely. Tamiya, I've rarely had an issue with spraying Tamiya paints. Usually it goes down very smooth. The thinning ratios I have spot on, and it never comes out grainy. However, every time, or probably 9 times out of 10, when I do spray either AK or Vallejo, I get this very grainy sandpaper-like texture, and I have no idea how to remedy it. And later on I'll bring you in closer so you can see how bad it is, because it is absolutely everywhere. Usually it's in the crevices where it usually accumulates. My thinking is that when I sprayed it, by the time it was hitting the vehicle, it was already dry, like the paint was already dry, and therefore as I continued to spray it, it kind of built up into this thick sandpaper-like grainy texture, which I thought kind of ruined the model at first. Right after I finished spraying it, I was absolutely furious. I wanted to chuck it out. I was like, wow, this is a terrible, terrible paint job. I won't be able to do washes or streaks because it'll just diffuse into all the grainy crevices. But I do have a plan for it. I have ordered Ultimate's buffing sanding sticks, the skinny sanding sticks. So hopefully in the prominent areas or the areas that have the large flat surfaces, I can get most of it out. I probably won't be able to completely rid this kit or this vehicle of the grainy texture where it kind of gets into some of the crevices and in between the tools and Pioneer tools and whatnot. But yeah, like, if you guys know how to combat or get away from the grainy texture, like it may have been a humidity issue. I think I did spray it on a dry day. It was a dry winter day. I have also ordered Ultimate's thinner, which they claim is the best thinner for all acrylics across the board. So I may give that a try, but next time I will be using a practice piece for it, because again, I'm almost at my wit's end with this build. So after I sprayed on the red primer by AK, I did 2 thin coats of AK's chipping fluid, heavy chipping fluid, and then gave it a coat of Tamiya's XF60 dark yellow. And this again, it's probably my errors too. I think I did put on the dark yellow coat a little too thick. So I'll bring you in again closer. Actually, I'll bring you in closer right now. You can kind of see where I've started to chip the sides here. And this again was my fault. It was actually a pretty bad weekend for working on this kit, just because I totally forgot to mask this area. By the time I realized it, I was able to mask this side, whereby the fenders would expose the red primer, and when this tank would have been given its camouflage, all the fenders were on it. So now that some of the fenders have been removed, the red primer would still be visible and exposed, and not the same color as the rest of the tank. So where was I getting at? Okay, so yeah, so after that, I was able to spray the barrel, no problem, as you can see here. I gave it a custom mixture of NATO black, dark gray, and flat red all by Tamiya, and it came out really great. Came out as a nice thermo gray primer that the Germans used on their barrels. It was kind of like a heat resistant primer. What else? And for the tracks, as you can see, tracks actually came out really nicely. Not as grainy as when I first primed or first started painting the vehicle itself. But this I am very, very pleased with. I used base coat. I primed them in, actually I think I have it here, in track primer, also by AK. And it came out fantastic. It actually went down really well. Not as grainy as the red primer went on. And then afterwards I gave it an overall dusting coat of NATO black just to darken it up. And as you can see in the crevices, it still has a rusty tone, a rusty primer tone to it, which I like. And afterwards I'll go back over that with once it's on the vehicle, I'll go over it with I believe it's AK's track rime, or the track wash by AK. So I'm very pleased with the tracks. However, I will show you the grainy mess that is my JagdTiger now. And it may be difficult to pick up on this camera, but I'll do my best. But as you can see right there, actually that is perfect. Right there, tons of grainy mess. Just absolute, it's an absolute mess. It just infuriates me looking at it. Even on the lower part of the front mantlet there, and even the sides. Like I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I can't find a remedy. So please, if you guys have any advice or first-hand experiences from you guys, please by all means comment. Let me know. Let me know what I can do to so this doesn't happen in the future. Because this, I seriously contemplated throwing this in the bin. I gave it a week to think about how I would tackle it next, or proceed with this, and I honestly didn't want to, just because I was so fed up with this. This build has kind of fought me every step of the way. But what's next is the plan of action now is to use those buffing sanding sticks that I've ordered. They haven't come in yet, but I've ordered them to sand down as much as I possibly can. And I'm not sure how that is going to affect trying to chip this afterwards. And then lay down my dark green camouflage scheme. Give it the pledge varnish for the decals, and if it is smooth enough whereby I think I can have a nice chipping effect on this, I may do a whitewash on it, but that all depends on how much of the grainy nonsense I can remove. So yeah, that is definitely the plan of action that should be coming up in the near future. Again, this build is dragged on far too long, and I'm almost at my wit's end with it. But other than that, oh, actually one other thing is, surprisingly, when I primed the wheels with the red primer by AK, or the red primer base by AK, went down absolutely fantastic. But when I applied it to the vehicle, it just kind of destroyed it. And as you can see here, I've already, oops, let's bring it in closer. I've already started chipping. It's very, there we go, very faint or very subtle. I've already started chipping that. I will continue on chipping the wheels, but if all else fails and I can't get this to a point where I like it, I may just do extreme. The plan was to do extreme heavy weathering, but I may take that to the next level and just do heavy weathering everywhere, because this will be fighting in the winter of 45, January, February of 45 in the Ardennes. So I may end up just beating this tank up completely, and we'll see how it turns out in the end. I've left this not glued down yet, and I haven't glued in place the exhaust pipes. Also, I plan on leaving this machine gun stand in the primer red base color, just as an afterthought. In the field, I'm kind of simulating they attached it or installed it in the field for anti-aircraft and anti-personnel purposes. So it's it wasn't installed at the factory where it would have received its dark yellow base coat. So yeah, that's it for this update. I got a few other pieces to still prime, such as the machine gun itself and the jack. I may once I have the camouflage scheme down, I think I'm gonna put in those tow cables. But machine gun came out really nicely. Really pleased with it. I added an extra photo etched gun sight. It's kind of an anti-aircraft gun sight, which this machine gun would have been prominently used for. That was the purpose of it. I did some reading on it, and apparently that was the intended purpose. But I'm sure they use it as an anti-personnel machine gun as well. So yeah, that is it. And please, again, if you have any suggestions as to how to better paint with AK Interactive Paints, Vallejo, or I know Ammo by MiG is also acrylic, pure acrylic. Please give me any tips, suggestions, remedies, troubleshooting, whatever you guys can come up with. That would be amazing. I've tried to do my best to get my own research on it, and everything that I've done so far or tried to use doesn't work. So please help me out. But that'll be it for this update, and I'll try to get back to you as quickly as I can after I've sort of worked things out with this. And yeah, so cheers guys, thanks for watching. And oh, one last thing I did forget to mention. Over the past couple weeks, I have reached over 100 subscribers. So you know, thank you guys for watching and subscribing to my channel, supporting me. I honestly couldn't believe that I would reach 100 subscribers. It's really, it blows my mind. But next weekend I hope to do something for like a 100 subscriber special video. I don't know exactly what I'm going to be doing. It'll give me some time to think about that, think about what I can do. But yeah, so again, thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, and continuing to support my channel. It means a lot. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Cheers guys.